lists some unique conditions for the Humvee. Deflating the tires will provide a larger footprint and load-bearing surface for better traction, and to help the vehicle stay on top of the sand. Be careful not to deflate the tires beyond the recommended tire pressure for this type of terrain application. Refer to the Tire Pressure Selection Guide in the PMCS section of the -10 manual for the precise recommendations for the Humvee model you're driving. Following completion of the mission operation, be sure to reinflate the tires to the proper pressure levels, especially if the surface you'll be driving on is a normal improved road. If your vehicle is being driven over sand dunes, it is generally recommended that you use a perpendicular approach, both in ascending and descending the dunes. However, if the sand is extremely soft and the degree of slope not too steep, then the dune can be climbed at approximately a 45-degree angle from the perpendicular approach. If possible, when coming to the top of a sand dune, make sure you stop and check the area before proceeding. There may be some unforeseen obstacles and dips that could cause serious problems. When driving down the face of a sand dune, use the compression of the engine and the low range in both the transmission and transfer case to control speed and come straight down the dune without using the brakes. Whenever driving in soft sand, try to secure better and safer traction by avoiding the ruts caused by other vehicles. When traversing a sandy hill, keep the Humvee moving steadily. If the vehicle bogs down and stops, it may be because the sand is extremely soft, or the vehicle's approach to the hill was too slow, causing a loss of momentum. In this situation, back the vehicle up and put the transfer case setting in the HL, or high lock position, and the transmission in the D, or drive position, and try again at a safe and moderate speed. If the vehicle continues to bog down, shift the transfer case to the L, or low position, and put the transmission in drive, and try again. If the vehicle bogs down in the low position, look for an alternate route. When operating in loose sand, it is possible to experience continuous wheel slippage. If this occurs, place the transfer case shift lever in the high lock position and the transmission in the drive setting. Whenever possible, select the high setting for sand terrain, where little or no wheel slippage is experienced. As with sand, operating in mud conditions is enhanced when the tire pressures are deflated to the recommended settings to provide a larger footprint for better traction. Before driving in muddy conditions, place the transfer case shift lever in the high lock position and the transmission shift lever in the drive position. To avoid skidding and loss of steering control, drive the Humvee slowly. If the rear end starts to sway or skid, immediately turn in the direction of the skid to regain control. For rainy or humid conditions, observe roads carefully and proceed slowly. Use the appropriate transfer case and transmission settings recommended for this particular circumstance. The other extreme is heat. This condition exists whenever the ambient temperature reaches 95 degrees or more. To prevent damage to the transfer case, avoid continuous operation at high speeds and long hard pulls on steep grades with the transfer case shift lever in the low position. When operating in extreme heat, it is important to frequently check the vehicle's gauges, in particular the coolant temperature and oil pressure gauges. The engine is in an overheated state whenever one or more of the following conditions exists. The engine coolant temperature is above 230 degrees Fahrenheit, or the oil pressure is either below 15 psi when the engine is under load, or when the oil pressure is below 6 psi when it's idling. If the gauges indicate an overheated condition, pull off the road and allow the engine to idle. Check the coolant temperature for steady cooling. If there is no change, or the temperature rises beyond the 230 degree mark, turn off the engine. Snow and icy surfaces also require a deflated tire pressure setting to provide a safe traction footprint. Remember to reinflate the tires to their previous normal settings once driving conditions have improved. Operating in ice or snow can be a hazardous condition. Reduce speeds and be prepared for sudden changes in road conditions by maintaining a safe stopping distance. When stopping the vehicle on ice or snow, pump brakes gradually to avoid wheel lockup and potential damage to the vehicle and injury or death to personnel. Place the transmission shift lever in the drive position. If operating the A2, M1113, or the M1114, put the transmission in the D overdrive setting. The transfer case shift lever should be placed in the high position. Put the vehicle in motion slowly to prevent the wheels from spinning. Never apply brakes when a wheel is spinning out, or damage to the drivetrain could occur. If rear-end skidding should occur, let up on the accelerator and steer the vehicle in the direction of the skid to regain control as you gradually pump the brake pedal. If you do get stuck in snow, do not attempt to rock the vehicle back and forth by shifting the transmission from reverse to drive. This could damage the drivetrain in the Humvee. Adverse driving conditions in ice and snow may require the addition of tire chains to the vehicle. Consult the -10 manual for instructions on how to proceed. One of the most dangerous conditions occurs when the vehicle goes into an uncontrolled spinout. This occurs most frequently when road surfaces are wet or covered with snow or ice. However, spinouts can happen in a number of other conditions, like sand and mud. By remembering a few key points, vehicle spinouts can often be brought back safely under control. Try the following procedure. Assuming the transfer case is set in the high range when the spinout begins, remove your foot from the accelerator pedal and allow the engine RPMs to return to idle level. Wait for the vehicle spinout to stop. Then, apply the brakes to keep the wheels from spinning again. Slowly depress the accelerator pedal to increase the engine's RPMs. If the vehicle moves without continuous spinout occurrences, continue the mission. If the spinout continues, remove your foot from the accelerator and allow the engine RPM level to return to idle again, and wait for the spinout to stop. Do not attempt to use the accelerator pedal or service brake unless at least one wheel has good traction on a firm surface. If you still have a problem, stop the vehicle, shut down the engine, and call for recovery assistance. One of the most sudden occurrences that can happen when driving any vehicle is experiencing a tire blowout. Here are some basic things you can do if it should happen to you while operating the Humvee. The first thing the operator should do is back off the accelerator and focus on maintaining control of the vehicle, especially the steering. If the vehicle does go out of control, apply a quick burst of acceleration. This will help to realign the front and rear ends of the vehicle, allowing the operator to regain full control. Any necessary steering corrections can then be made before slowing the vehicle down until it comes to a full stop in a safe location. The program you've just seen was designed to provide an overview of how to drive the Humvee proficiently, and most importantly, safely. For further details and instructions, be sure to consult the -10 manual that accompanies the vehicle for a comprehensive review of the requirements for the operation and maintenance of the Humvee. The Humvee is an extraordinary vehicle. Like the crew it carries, it must be respected and cared for. You are part of a select group that has been entrusted with the important role of operating the Humvee responsibly. Even the most thorough training cannot be a substitute for the genuine commitment each operator must make to learn how to operate the Humvee proficiently and to operate it safely. Take the opportunity now to demonstrate that commitment with the same pride that has become a hallmark of the Humvee heritage.